Good evening, everybody. As an older person, I went to an event recently. It's the first time I was asked for my pronouns, and I found this really interesting because I didn't know you actually had a choice. I think it's great now that you do. And from it, I made a decision that I want to identify as a hot old lady. And I think this is really important because older women are discriminated against, and this is particularly the case in healthcare. For instance, why is it a menopause and not a womanopause? And if it truly was a menopause, there wouldn't be a shortage of HRT drugs, would there? No. Anyway, older women have to have breast screening, which means they get your breasts and squeeze them between two metal plates. Now, how would men feel if they had to have their testicles squeezed in that way? Yeah. You men get off easy, you just have a finger stuck up your arse, don't you? Anyway, our main health concerns recently have been COVID. And people have kept saying to me, Judith, COVID never existed, it wasn't real at all. And I just said, look, what if people said World War II wasn't real? And they just said, oh, it was the RAF that bombed the East End last night. Or, oh, Hitler was just Charlie Chaplin playing his role in The Great Dictator. Without the humour. Anyway, I'll stop being surreal because COVID really did exist. And I know because I got it. But it was my own fault. I shouldn't have gone to that party at number 10. Though I did only take a cheap bottle of wine from Lidl with me. But anyway, as an older person, I found hipster culture a bit strange, hard to get my head round. And it isn't just because I prefer men with clean-shaven faces and their balls camouflaged by pubes. Though I did meet a hipster barista recently that made my heart race. But that was because the coffee was so bloody strong. It was in one of those cat cafes that I went to because my cat died at Christmas. But anyway, whilst I was there, the cats just kept walking right past me to a lady at another table. So the bitch had brought a can of tuna with her. And anyway, the other thing in hipster culture that I think they do is they get something really ordinary, then they make up a story about it, so they charge more for it. For instance, recently, I bought a gram of genuine Nordic sea salt. They charged me £10. The thing was, I didn't know it was actually genuine sea salt because it had all these tiny little bits of coloured plastic all the way through it. Anyway, the other thing I find quite challenging about society today is all the different types of sexuality there are. And for instance, demisexual. And it seems that like being demisexual means you're not the sort of person who goes to a pub, gets drunk, and has sex in the toilets with the first person you meet. Now, when I was young, that was just known as not being a slag. Another thing that I have a question about in relationships is like, if you self-partner or marry yourself, does that make you a wanker? Anyway, before I go, I just want to let you know that being a middle-aged woman is not all bad, because according to that amazing source of information, the Metro, as a woman gets older, the clitoris gets larger. So I figure men might actually be able to find it now. Thanks a lot.